First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for taking my family to court over not getting inheritance money? So, years ago, around when I, 19 female, was, I think about 7, my great-grandmother passed away. She split inheritance money in her will from me, my mother, 39 female, my aunt, 45 female, and grandmother, 69 female. However, for me as it was written, it was stated I would only get the money at 18. I'm now 19 and somehow they gave the money to my mother. She never told me about this until I graduated high school. I asked why I didn't get mine, now that I'm of age, and she stated, well, you'll just spend the money. I understand where she came from, since people my age would spend it. But I am a little furious that I'm now in debt for college, and I could have used that money for student loans, or maybe even a new car. Or, if something happens as an example. After asking to give it to me, they each refused, despite me politely asking. So I decided to take this to court after seeing a copy saying I would get the money at 18. And now, everyone in my family is angry at me for standing up for myself. I believe if it's legally stated, then yes, you should fulfill, but I could be wrong, as I am young and I don't understand. Plus, they are my family, and I love them, but I don't feel this is fair and legal. Am I the a-hole for suing my family over inheritance money? Now for the top comments of this post. Not the a-hole. If this money was left for you to receive at age 18, you should receive the money at age 18. Your mother might be right that you will waste it, but if you do, that's your own call. You're an adult now. I don't plan to waste it. I plan to pay the leftover student debt of mine, which isn't much, around $4,000. Then save it for a rainy day if something happens. It doesn't really matter what you plan to do with the money. It's your money. The point is that your mom's argument that you will waste it isn't a good one. Because even if you waste it, that's perfectly fine. It's yours to waste, or save, or invest, or use in any way you please. She can't hold this money because she doesn't like how she thinks you'll spend it. It's not a valid reason because it's yours to spend as you please. I agree, you can withdraw everything in $1 bills and make tiny origami hats. That would be fine too. Not the a-hole. It's not your mother's money. Is it possible she spent it and won't tell you? I'm assuming she has. I've never seen this money ever in my life and was just told about this from a cousin and confronted her about it. Hopefully, she has not. Not the a-hole who managed the estate. It should have been placed in a trust, and as such, you are legally entitled to it. Yeah, I'm really surprised they gave the money to the mom to hold. That's not how wills usually work. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my mom financially because she paid for all my younger siblings' stuff, but not mine? I'm 26 female. I have 7 siblings. Ages 23 male, 21 male, 17 female, 13 female, 13 female, 9 female, 9 male. All of us, minus the twins, have different dads, and she has never had a stable boyfriend. Now, being the oldest, a lot of the mother responsibilities were passed off onto me. I babysat all of the kids until I moved out at 16, and my, now 17, sister even called me mom until she was 6. I taught my 4 youngest siblings how to walk, taught all of them to ride a bike, homeschooled my youngest sibling because she has learning disabilities. I also had all cooking and cleaning responsibilities, and was forced into a night job at age 15 to help her support the household, as well as being a full-time student and caregiver when home. When I moved out at 16, my grandmother moved in as my replacement. I never held this against my mom, even though it was her decision to have so many kids and force me into a mother role. However, I became extremely resentful of the fact that she bought my 23-year-old, 21-year-old, and 17-year-old siblings all cars. They were second-hand, yes, but she never even offered to help me pay for a car, let alone buy me one. She also paid for at least half of their college tuition. I didn't go to college, because I not only could not afford it, but I also did terrible in school due to working and being exhausted from being a parent to kids that aren't mine. It really messed with my grades, meaning no scholarship. I'm doing great now. I have a fantastic job, my own house, and have bought my car outright. I'm proud of myself, but now that my home and car have proven to my mom that I have money, I never discuss my money with her. She has started asking for handouts, loans that I know she will never pay back basically, as she has never paid me back before. Last night, she asked for $200. Didn't say why. I told her no, and when she asked why, I said, maybe you should ask your other kids. You know, the ones that you bought cars for and put through college? versus asking the one kid who didn't get jackass beside a mothering role. She flipped out and said that she never did that, and that I was basically being a drama queen and needed to grow up. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your mom's unhappiness that you've figured out she sees you as a family caretaker and have rejected the role is not your problem. If she asks for money again, tell her to grow up and take responsibility for her own finances. And seriously, think about how much contact you want to have with her going forward. I have very limited contact with her now, which is partly why I said no as well. She never calls me and barely answers when I reach out to her either. What your mom did is called parentification and is a form of abuse. She forced you into the role of parent. Not the a-hole. She already got her money's worth out of you when she took away your childhood. I would have said sure, and then give her an envelope of doll hairs. Not the a-hole. Huh, grow up? You're more adult than she is. You grew up way too fast and had to be a mother so young to your siblings. Your mom is upset because she wants to use you as an interest-free ATM and still sees you as a family caretaker. They are not your responsibility. Be happy, live your life the way you want to, and let your siblings step up for once. This is what I wanted to say. The absolute nerve of this woman to tell you to grow up. Tell her to lose your number until she gets her stuff together and takes responsibility for her life choices. In no way are you an a-hole here, not the a-hole times 100. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not sharing my birthday money with my step-siblings? My parents split when I was 9, now 18 male, and my sister was 7, now 16 female. My mom got remarried 4 years ago, and my dad has been dating his girlfriend for 3 years. Right now, I live with my mom and stepdad along with his 3, 17 female, 16 male, and 14 male kids and my sister. My step-siblings lost their mom when they were young, so they live full-time with my mom and stepdad. I get along with my step-siblings, but we aren't really close. While my mom and stepdad both have good jobs, they make about €110,000 combined. We've always been somewhat poor, since we live in an expensive area and are a family of 7. But my grandmother from my dad's side is filthy rich. This has caused some issues and jealousy in the past, since she would buy my sister and me expensive gifts, designer clothes, a new phone/laptop, AirPods, etc. that my mom and stepdad couldn't afford. The issue. 3 weeks ago, I celebrated my 18th birthday. It was a small party, thanks to the virus, with some family and close friends, but we still had a blast. My grandma couldn't make it, thanks again to the virus, but sent me a video message we watched on our TV. The message consisted of a sweet little speech, and her telling me she decided to give me €25,000 for my birthday. I was stunned, thought I was hallucinating, and didn't know what to say for nearly 2 minutes. Then I immediately called my grandma to thank her. My grandma wanted to know what I was going to do with the money, and I told her I was planning on traveling the world, if COVID allows it, after high school is done. When I was done talking to my grandma, I could see that my step-siblings were very annoyed, and they left the party a few minutes later. They have been acting cold towards my sister and me ever since. A few days after my birthday, my mom and stepdad sat me down and asked me to share the money with my step-siblings. They were saying I wouldn't need $25,000 to travel the world, and that it was unfair towards my step-siblings. They also mentioned all the expensive gifts my sister and I got over the years. I told them I would think about it. Now, I know that I'm extremely privileged, and that it's unfair towards my step-siblings, but I don't want to share the money. I want to go all out on this trip and use what's left to travel during college. Am I the a-hole? Now let's read the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your grandma didn't give it to them. She gave it to you. For your birthday. They will get over it. I want to piggyback and for Opie to make sure no one can get in his account and steal the money, since sometimes things like these can escalate. Edit. Shouldn't have assumed he had a bank account. If he doesn't, he should make one, or let the grandparents have the money and give it there until he leaves, unless he needs it now. Info. Where do you store your money? I have my own bank account. Although my parents originally opened it for me as something called a child savings account, it became my account when I turned 18, so I'm not exactly sure if they still have access to it. Not the a-hole. They were saying I wouldn't need $25,000 to travel the world and that it was unfair towards my step-siblings. I guess now is a good time for them to learn the lesson that life isn't fair. It's not your dad's mom's responsibility to take care of your mom and stepdad's kids or to treat them as equal to you. Because they're not. They are not her grandchildren. Their mom died when they were little. I think they're already acutely aware that the world isn't fair. Not the a-hole. It was a gift for you, and it's rude of your mother to demand you to share it. You can choose to share, as it's yours, but you should feel no guilt for not sharing. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for completely remodeling my deceased father's home and refusing to share my inheritance with my step-siblings? I inherited my father's house after he and his wife died in a car crash 2 years ago. After about a year in the house, I decided it was time to begin treating it like it were mine and felt ready to start thinking about renovations and furniture changes. Everything was done earlier this year, and the house is completely different than what it was before, save for a single chair I decided to keep. Even the exterior colors and landscaping are totally different. My stepsisters, 28, 24, 19, came over yesterday for the first time since it's been renovated. Immediately after looking around, they started freaking out about how I ruined our parents' house and yelled and cried about how it looked like they had never even lived there. Then they complained about my dad not leaving them as much as me, how they got ripped off in the inheritance just because they were stepchildren, and how unfair it was, and how I should share my inheritance with them. I told them to get the F out of my house. Their mother was only married to my dad for a couple years before they died, and we were all grown, except the youngest who was 16. It's not like he was with this woman for 20 years and raised these children. My dad left me the house and about $2 million after taxes and gave them each $200,000. Personally, I think that's rather generous to leave the adult children of a woman you've only been with for a few years. Also, this woman on her own had nothing, and they would have been lucky to get enough money from her death to cover the funeral had she not been with my dad. I feel like I didn't do anything wrong, but a few family members are telling me I should have waited a few years before renovating, and I should have given them all some more of the inheritance. What do you guys think? Now let's read the top judgment for this post. Not the a-hole. Never invite them to your home ever again. Ever. Added to add, you should never give up your inheritance to solve the witching of other people who didn't get an inheritance. The dead speak by their last will and testament. Don't mess with the dead. I mean, this is true, but also they did get an inheritance, and pretty generous one at that. A man who had only been in their lives for a few years did a really great thing for them and left them each a couple $100,000. Any decent person would be truly appreciative of that and not trying to pressure his daughter into giving up her inheritance to their greedy selves. Not the a-hole. They got $200,000 each, and they're complaining for more? Not to sound bratty, but they were lucky to get anything. You can do whatever you want with your house. And it is your house now. It's not theirs. If he wanted it to be theirs, he would have left it to all of you. Not the a-hole. It was your inheritance, and as you stated, they were nearly all adults when your parents got married. They are not entitled to anything your dad left, and he was generous in his gifts to them. Maybe a heads up that you were remodeling, so they could have taken any furniture or items that were your parents that you were getting rid of. But still, you don't owe them anything. Not the a-hole. It was your father's wish to allocate his assets as he did. They have no rights to anything else, and the house is yours to do as you please. I doubt your father would be upset you remodeled. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.